Okay, 2 questions have been asked to me recently. 1, where's all the Red Orchestra stuff? 2, what's all this first-person bollocks? Well, I'm going to answer these questions as to the best of my ability in as short a period of time as possible. So to answer question 1, why do I no longer stream Red Orchestra 1? The answer is, I do stream Red Orchestra 1. I just have stopped doing it on YouTube simply because YouTube has thrown up a few issues, so now it's all done across on Twitch. There are VODs, and those VODs are going to be linked in the description and probably in one of those little card things at the top right. And I have them across at a channel called Dump of Cack, which some people might remember the name of. So, if you want Red Orchestra streams, that's where they are found. So, if that's all you wanted to know, cheers for listening, and goodbye. Question 2. What's all this first-person shooter bollocks? Why are you doing all this Doom kind of stuff, or Quake kind of stuff, rather than, as you started, Red Orchestra? To that, my answer is a little more messy. For one, I started this channel back in about 2011 where I did some reviews, but I deleted them because I wasn't very happy with them. And truth be told, I just prefer edited videos rather than off-the-cuff streaming kind of things. The only reason I started streaming in 2017 was because I was unemployed at the time and I was bored. So I started streaming Red Orchestra 1 onto YouTube. Before that, I did Red Orchestra 2 kind of mod videos. Why did I stop them? The answer's simple again. Red Orchestra 2 as a game fell apart when it came to mods. It was just too hard to mod from the people I talked to. Every time I tried to stick my finger in the modding scene, it was with an SDK that's best described as a bit unstable. So I've kind of walked away from that. I didn't walk away from that because I thought, oh, there's another trend to get. It was just Red Orchestra 2 was an absolute mess. And I really hate saying that because I really thought there was, potential in that game. But it fell apart, and that's all I can really say on that, I guess. And as for the, let's say, newer boomer shoot stuff where I'm doing throwback shooters, that might seem like a trend, which I have to admit it really is at the moment, and I think it's going to be a bubble that bursts quite badly, but until that happens, I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it, simply because I'm of that age where I played a lot of that back in the 90s when I was quite young, and I really like it. And as the 2000s went along, that stuff just disappeared. In the 2010s, it vanished off the face of the earth, with people trying to make things that they said, it's old school, when it blatantly wasn't. As for World War II stuff, that's where it gets a bit messy. And it's not because World War II itself's bad, it's more to do with, shall we say, I know this is going to sound very Jim Sterling-ish, and I really don't like Jim Sterling. It's the problem with the games industry around it. Companies like Tripwire and other such companies, I don't hate them, but I don't like the choices they've made in the past decade or so. Stuff like leveling systems, microtransaction systems, free-to-play systems, anything that seems like a gambling system or, let's say, a Skinner box, I am, not so much in the past, but now most certainly, very sceptical of. And that's sort of why I like this new wave of old school shooters, because 9 times out of 10, you buy the product, you get the entirety of the product, unless it's in early access, which is a bit of a dodgy area, but I admit I have not kind of grown out of that. And you play through it, you get the entire product, and when you're finished, you're done. You're not bothered every day to play it to go, oh, you're going to miss out on these levels or this gold or experience, or you can spend an extra £5 and wear this hat to express yourself. How about I buy the product, I use the product, and when I'm finally happy with it, I put the product away until I want to pull it out again. I don't care for anything that makes me want to play every single day. That's not an experience, that's an addiction. So, no thank you. Then there's the problem that World War II games tend to have. They tend to be multiplayer, and multiplayer games need a player base. When you think back to 2017, when I thought, hey, this is going to go further, and then I moved to a house with terrible internet, so I couldn't bring it any further. Who remembers Battalion 1944? Days of War? Fog of War? Yeah, they didn't do very well, did they? So you really do need a player base to be able to support your game. And at the moment, those player bases are usually playing other things, and the only ones that have got anywhere are probably Scriptum and Hell Let Loose. Not bad games by the look of it, but I'm a bit bored of the Western Front personally, and I'd rather play something with either North Africa, Eastern Front, or even the Far East, which is barely ever touched upon. And so when it comes to World War II stuff, all I can say is, I'm going to play Red Orchestra the original and just stream it across on Twitch. If it's not broken, why fix it? And while there are some things that could be fixed in Red Orchestra 1, I've got a feeling that's about as good as we're going to get. And if there's any expansion on it, well, there is expansion on it. That's what Darkest Hour is all about. And yeah, why try and fix something that's not broken? Just expand on it. I don't need a Red Orchestra 3. I'm happy. Yes, I admit Red Orchestra 1 will probably die out eventually, but it seems to be doing very strong still. And for a game that is now over 15 years old, that's pretty good. And so what I'm going to just do with this channel from here on in is reviews. The vast majority are probably going to be these short fire reviews because I really quite enjoy doing them. And I'm not going to say they're going to be 100% boomer shoots. They're going to be whatever I choose to review. But expect things like boomer shoots or maybe the Red Orchestra series and a few other World War II shooters. Might do a few older games, but let's just say while I like that stuff, I don't actually advertise normally. I'm Kotaku level reviewer at those kind of things, so yeah, I don't think I'm qualified to try and review them. If that's not what you subscribe for and you think, right, I'm leaving, I have absolutely no hard feelings towards you, as I've never had any hard feelings towards people who unsubscribe. All I can say is best to you in the future, and I hope everything's great. But for me, going forward, well, it's looking better than it did in the past couple of years, so let's keep rolling as we are. Okay, thank you for watching, and goodbye.